Cool, and I am live, but I haven't adjusted the angle of my graphics tablet. Eee. Ooh, did I knock something over? I did. Oh, it's fine. That doesn't matter. But welcome everyone to my stream. My first stream on YouTube, basically. I was like, I like Twitch, but a lot of people have sort of started moving over to YouTube when sort of recently. I think a lot of big YouTubers decided that, well, YouTubers and like Twitch streamers, where they're like really tired of streaming just solely on one platform that doesn't link with the rest of their platforms. So this was quite a cool shift for a lot of people, and then I think I kind of wanted to make the change as well, because YouTube allows me to sort of house these videos. I can record them and, you know, keep this available, or make this available to a lot of different people, as opposed to Twitch, where it kind of deletes your video, which I really didn't like. But yeah, so here we are. We're on YouTube. First time in a really long time. Having some water. And yeah, and we are currently looking at the very lovely artwork that I've been working on for all of my Instagram followers. I decided to explore the realm of, as I like to put it, spicy art. But some people might say is smut. I don't know. I've just been having a gas about it, because pretty much like all of my like all of the platforms that I've tried to post this to have all been like, no, this is inappropriate, and you can't show this, it's like not safe for work and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I feel bad now. But at the same time I'm like, okay, cool. But it's not that bad though. It's like, it's just, I don't know. So I've just been having a fun time with that, because it's been amusing. Now we're just fixing his neck. But I personally think his head is too high anyway. Okay, we're gonna bring his head down. I think this is a good idea. Oh no, what if I mess up? Oh yeah, that's like way better. Welcome to the new people watching. We are in the process of fixing anatomy, as one does. It's really interesting, because like when I tackled this project myself, I was like, oh, I really want to paint like a really nice romantic scene, because I haven't done any of that. Like, I haven't done something like that ever. And I was like, oh, and then I want it to be like, you know, like kind of have some skin showing, literally just because I was like, I want to paint human anatomy, and I can't be asked to paint a study, because I'm lazy. And I like having my learning experience be more like have a direction, as opposed to like you know, just studying for the sake of studying. Because like if there's no direction to it, then it's like I don't know if I feel like I really learn anything. Whereas like in this regard, I had the characters and I was like, okay, cool. Well, I want to paint like muscles and like skin and all that sort of thing. I also wanted to try out a new style. So that's what you guys can see here. This is the new style that I'm trying out. I have a message somewhere. But basically the whole idea behind it was that it's to have like a sort of rough-ish line art to it. And then after that, you know, put some like really nice rendering on the inside with like a focus obviously on the face and things. But not getting too caught up in the details, which I really liked. Gotta move his earrings. Because if you get too caught up in the details and everything, then you just get bogged down. And also I wanted something that was fast, because like that's the one thing I really do struggle with a lot, is just speed. Oopsie, wrong layer. In the sense that like I want to get artworks out to my followers as often as I can, because I like all of you guys. You guys are cool. But then sometimes it doesn't work out that way. 'Cause then when I get really, really into the rendering, and then I sit and I render for hours on hours, and it's just like I'm not really getting anywhere. And I'm just like getting myself into like a little bit of a hole and all those sorts of things, and then it's just not great. But yeah, now we're trying to get that jawline, get a little bit of that light coming in through there, because I noticed like because I think I finished this in theory yesterday, but then I was like, okay, cool, let me just wait, because if I just don't look at this for the next like 24 hours, then I'll come back and I'll be like, oh wait, this is wrong, which is exactly what happened to his face and his neck and everything, when I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, so his neck is way too long. And then technically, because his neck was too long, he wasn't actually looking at her, which is like kind of sad. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm still trying to figure out this YouTube though. So if you're watching and like you're putting stuff in the chat and it's just not working, just pop me a message on Instagram if you can. Because like I don't know. Do I have to like unmute it here? No. If I unmute it in the YouTube app, I can hear myself, and I don't want to hear myself. No one wants to hear themselves. But yeah, so yeah, just pop me a message on Instagram and just be like, Sasha, it's broken. But yeah, so we're gonna finish this off in this stream session, pretty much like literally in the next, it's like 5-10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the other project that I'm working on, which is a client who I'm having a fun time with. She's really cool. I like her. Her characters are really cool too. I like her characters a lot. I was very lucky that she was okay with me sharing the process, because sometimes, and this is often though, you as an artist will get stuck under NDA, which is just a non-disclosure agreement. And so what you end up having happen is like you spend like a whole month working on an artwork, and then you can't show it, which is kind of sucky. It's not like the end of the world, but it's not the best, because you spend a lot of time on these artworks, and a large portion of your work and everything comes from your social media, and then you kind of get stuck, being unable to sort of do anything and like generate social media traction, because you're now working on something that's NDA, which is like makes me sad. I think his brow bone is like really aggressive. Like it's an aggressive brow bone. Let's pull up our references. Here we go. Gotta get that profile image. What do men even look like in profile? Do men even have profiles? These are the real questions. Yeah, it's a bit aggressive of a brow bone. Ooh. Bit of man chest. So we're just gonna pull that back. I mean, he is pulling a face. The face of concern and desire. But for our intents and purposes, he needs to have a brow bone. Because it's just bad if he doesn't. We're just gonna darken this up, because technically it is in shadow. Ooh. Don't break on me now, Photoshop. Gotta clean it up. I really enjoy using this textured brush that I have, which is, it's quite funny because it's called an untextured. It's like name is untextured, and then it's a textured brush. But it gives these like really cool sort of like hair-like lines, which I've really liked using for this illustration. Because it just gives like, it just is so great. I love it. Drink some water. Yeah, I think I have to be careful with this project though, because it could very easily fall into the I'm rendering it too much trap, which is like a little bit of what I'm doing right now. Cause you end up, you're like, oh, but if I just, like, if I render this out, and if I make this, like, slightly lighter, and I smooth this out, and all those sorts of things, then you end up getting, like, really, really way too invested in the rendering, and then you can end up just, like, overdoing it a little bit. And especially with like, a style like this, where the whole idea behind it is that, yes, it's, like, rendered, but it is supposed to be faster. So you don't want to get like too stuck rendering it out, because then you're just gonna you'll never leave. You'll never leave the starting zone. There we go. One thing that I thought was very interesting upon becoming more, I suppose you could say more like professional with my drawing. But basically it just means that drawing more frequently and stuff. Ooh. It's very windy here, so apologies for the sounds of doors closing and things. But one of the things about becoming like more professional and stuff is realizing there are parts of like the human body that you hated drawing before. Like I hated drawing hands. Like with a passion and without fail, I was like, nope, not hands. Hands are evil. I think they're like I would literally avoid drawing hands. Like I think there's still an artwork of Aylin on my Instagram that you can go and stalk that. But basically she only has one hand because I literally was just like, no, I don't want to draw another hand. What do you mean? Like why do I have to? This is stupid. um, and so she just has one hand, which is like not it's not great, but it's not terrible technically. Like it's not the end of the world. But yeah, but anyway, so since kind of like drawing a little bit more professionally and like actually learning how to draw a lot of the human body parts and things like that, I've found that hands are actually not too bad. They're pretty cool, actually. Or at least I think they're cool. I think hands are awesome, she said, and then probably immediately regrets that she has to draw a hand later. Gotta do that like contact shadow. I'm like debating on if I should, oopsie, get my family involved and see if they can test out the stream, because I feel like I'm failing miserably right now. Ugh. Maybe I've just set things up wrong. That's also very possible. Like I could have just set it up wrong. Is there a way to like... It says open widget. It says my stream bitrate is fine, and now it's not fine. Okay, I don't know. Let's go here. Settings, stream, output, streaming. It says 4,500. You guys are learning with me. Okay, let's just put this in here. Apply. Okay. Well, there we go. It is happening. We'll see if it moans at me again. It might moan. Yes, I know. I just fixed it. Maybe it's here. Live chat. Enable live chat. Okay. Well, the chat is working in theory. Streaming tips. Ah, I need a new chair. Okay. Anyway, we'll see. That happened. I've done a thing. I have done my work. So now I'm just gonna clean up some of the petals. I like petals. Whoopsie. That looks fine. Because they're pretty messy. Although I like that they're kind of messy. And then voila, adjustments. Best part. I am debating on this thing, this linear dodge. And I think I had it at like a pinky color. See, no, this one. So do that, and then if I put it like here. No. What if I color dodge it? Because as our great teacher Ross Tran says, every day is a color dodge day. So we're gonna color dodge those two. That's very bright. We're gonna just drop it a little bit. And then see, does it do anything? No, it just takes away from a shadow. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it. I personally don't have any other changes to make. Yeah, like, it's great. I think it's cool. If you guys are having problems with the stream, please do put it in the chat. Or again, like if you are really struggling and the chat's not working and all that stuff, then just message me on Instagram. I promise I'll read it. There we go. So now we are going to open up a different document. Where is my thingy? Okay, so you can see all my stuff. Quickly, look away. So we're opening this one. And then I was told that this character looks a bit too old. So we are going to attempt to make her younger looking. Let's put that on silent. And then she needed to have redder eyes. That was the big one. So we're going to change that. Color. I'm going to go with like a red because they're too orangey. That's cool. Cool. So now we need to fix her nose because her nose is not correct. don't know why this looks the way it does. Oh well. I just get to forever be confused. Going to lift the eyebrows. Okay. We are slowly uncovering the mystery that is the stream and whether it's working or not. Because I have enlisted the aid of my sister, who is helping us, or helping me at least at the very least figure out, am I doing this correctly? Ah, she says it's working. Ah, hello. Hey, Jim. Thank you for helping. I was very concerned at one point about whether I was going to be able to chat, or that the chat was working. So thank you for helping me with that. I'm actually like quite intrigued to see whether I'm doing this correctly, because the lovely client that I'm working with for this, she her cat well, let me start. So her characters are quite a lot younger than what I'm used to painting. So I was a little bit, well, she was quite specific about the fact that she wanted them to look a bit younger than what I'd originally sketched them out as, which is like completely fine, obviously. But I'm just hoping that I have done this correctly, because I'd feel really bad if I hadn't. I'm still like sitting here working out the kinks of the stream with my sister, who is an awesome person, and I will probably make a moderator at some point if she wants it. But we'll see. Maybe she doesn't want the privilege. um. tee hee 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 to you too. You can let me know if it's working correctly now, Jim. Do we have sound? Do we have the necessary sound? Is it too delayed? Can you not deal? There we go. Okay, so it's not super delayed. That's good. Of my viewers, you are one of them. Thank you. I can set the latency, but I have like normal to low to ultra low, so I don't know really what those mean. But this is an opportunity to figure it all out, you know, troubleshoot the stream, all that jazz. I think the character looks a bit younger now. Where is my reference? actually want to darken her face slightly. And then get soft light, and we're gonna get some blue light, cause gotta have that blue light. Blue light is one of my favorite colors to add. It just like changes the way you look at a picture, which is really cool. But yeah, like that needed to think. I'm not sure why, but this character, the way I'm rendering her, makes me think of Nicola Peltz. I don't know how many of you may know of her, but she's really beautiful, if maybe a little bit over Botoxed. But she's very pretty, and she's got that sort of like buttony nose, which I really like. And yeah, and I don't know, this character's just kind of giving me the Nicola Peltz button nose vibe, which I like. Trying to do like a slightly bottom lit character, but it's like kind of not working really. Because she's like holding some flames, and her flames are very pretty. Probably like the best thing I ever learned from art with lighting was, if it kind of looks like it makes sense, then you're doing a good job. um, like if it like looks like kind of plausible, then you're fine. You'll be fine. Which I just thought was quite funny. Her lips are just like too big. I don't like them. There we go. Beep, 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 beep. I'm like trying to get better at not over rendering something, so having that it looks really good from far away. As I find I can sometimes get really stuck rendering something out, and then you just end up going around and around and around and around in circles trying to render it, and it just doesn't, you don't really get anywhere, which is kind of depressing, really, because you just sit and you render and you render and you render, and then you're just like, oh, it's not working, and it's very time consuming and also a bit disheartening. Now we're getting some highlights in the hair, which is one of my favorite things. I really do love hair. Like, hair is one of my favorite things to paint, if also, you know, like the bane of my existence. But I think many artists can attest to that fact. Where you're like, because it's so satisfying when you get it right. But then if you don't get it right, yeah, you just kind of end up struggling. So I can hear what I'm doing for those who are watching. And you will probably watch this after I finished. But I'm just working on the rim light because there's some candles around. So she's like got candles in and around that are all lit. Get this going. Yep. Painting this is hard, I'm not gonna lie. She is a difficult character. Nice challenge, but still difficult. What I do want is for her to have like porcelain-esque skin. This little viewfinder keeps messing with me because it like has a design. Well, not a design, it's got like a glitch in it. Ugh, words are hard. But yeah, there's a glitch in it which is causing like her jawline to look like it's broken when it's not, and this upsets me on a deep level because I'm like, I just want it to not look like it's broken, because then I think it's broken, you know, and I'm like, well, this isn't good, obviously. Adding some clothing folds, which is always fun. Always adds a lot to an illustration. Some extra highlights. So it would be like, it's like a pretty shiny dress. At least I think it's pretty and shiny. Maybe I'm being ridiculous. One thing I did think was quite funny was that the way the dress is like designed, it's a very like it doesn't like shape the waist super well. So you have to be quite careful when you render everything out, because you can end up giving her like a bad waist, which will cause her to just look weird, pretty much. Which is what we don't want, because we want our character to be beautiful and picturesque, and basically the fantasy that we all wish we were. Adding a bit of makeup. Oh, I just got a Stranger Things Season 4 notification on my cell phone. Was not expecting that, not gonna lie. Also not gonna lie, my stream music puts me to sleep. gonna have to go and make dinner soon. Oh, I love rendering faces. I have a problem. Thank you so much. Oh, is it the Nai or Tine or Tinui? Ooh. Sorry if I'm slow on my comments responses. I actually am not expecting people to comment. So I'm just kind of talking to myself as I stream, which is a fun experience, I'm not gonna lie. I'm enjoying it. But when I do actually get a comment, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? How do I deal with this? How do I deal with someone being here? I mean, it does matter. Like, the pronunciation of your name is important because it's your name. It's your display name. At least I think it's important. Like, I don't know. I always like it when people, mention me on stream, and then I remember the first time someone mentioned my name on stream, and I was like, oh my gosh, this person said my name. Um, Except I was called like Sasha Pie or something at that time, which was a kind of embarrassing. I mean, I still actually go by that sometimes, so don't tell anyone. But I was just like, this is so cool, but also kind of weird because they're calling me Sasha Pie. So it was fun. But yes, but the pronunciation I think is important because, you know, it's your display name. I mean, obviously, there are some lines that I do not cross where it's like if people have like a really rude display name, then I'm like, I don't care, like how nice you are. Like, I'm not gonna say that on my stream. Or even just in public. If I can't say someone's display name with a straight face in public to like, like my friends, or like, I don't know, maybe someone's mom, then I'm like, you should really reconsider that. Reconsider that display name, man. I don't want this to be warmer. We're gonna do the multiply, cause I really do like. I enjoy painting characters with dark hair, and I'm gonna let everyone in on a secret as to why. And it's because they're really easy. Cause like you don't actually have to add a huge amount of like detail to their hair because there's not a lot of light that penetrates through the hair. Mm, so the amount of like definition that you get from that is very low because their hair is not there's not a lot of bouncing and ambient light. So you end up having like an overall very pleasant like hair painting experience because their hair is like so chilled you can't see most of it. Obviously like you want to add like some strands here and there that are like kind of curly and add a little bit more definition, but you can really just focus on like the highlighted areas. So, like here for instance, we're gonna put like a semi highlighted strand here, and then everything else is just like really dark. And so you can kind of like fool the eye into thinking that there's lots of different strands of hair and that there's a lot going on when in actual fact there's not really that much happening. only thing I struggle with clothing is like this. Like, what do you do here? Like, what do you put? So I usually just put like a... Oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a ribbon. Maybe like a little pink ribbon. No, that looks awful. Make it silver. Gold. Let's make it black. And then add like a little bit of sparkle to it. I need a circular brush for this. Yeah, that works, I think. Sparkles. I like sparkles. I seem to have managed to hurt my finger. It's all them sparkles, man. Moral of the story, sparkles hurt, don't paint them. Oh, goodness. It's been a long week. We're just gonna go with that. I'm very tired. And I was a little bit upset because I had to go into the office today. And I'm literally just upset because I am a hermit. I like working from home, and I'm quite lucky because my office still supports the work from home thing. We have a really small office though, so we can't actually change over anyway to like a more, well, like, you know, back into the office. Like, we can't do that, which I am perfectly fine with. But some people aren't. Some people want to work in the office, which is fine. Like, I don't have an issue with people who want to do that. Like, it's really up to you. Because, like, I like working from home. Some people hate it, and really struggle with productivity, which is, like, perfectly normal. You know, like, it's not meant for everyone. And so it's kind of nice that in some ways the work world is like acknowledging that, you know, work from home is a viable option. At least in my work, I obviously can't speak for all industries, but I work in tech, so tech tends to be a little bit more on the forgiving side, simply because, you know, you're just working off a computer, so you can take it anywhere, in theory. um, but yeah. I do really love it when a character's face just like works. Like when I started this illustration, this evening, I was like, oh, her face isn't rendered enough, and I don't know if I'm happy with it, and yada yada yada. And I was like, oh, what if it just like doesn't look good? What if it, you know, she's just forever, you know, average looking and things like that, and then, you know, like as you render it more and you like kind of get better, and I'm like, oh, it looks so much better now. I'm so happy. I do still think her eyes are really small, but we're getting there. We're gonna fix that now. Oh, I just realized I'm not wearing my glasses. Well, this is fine. So I don't actually need my glasses for those who are interested to see. But I need them when I work on a computer. Otherwise, my eyes get very, very, very tired because I basically work 9 to 5 um, on a computer doing work for my company. I don't own the company, but for the company that I work for. And then after that 9 to 5, I come and then I do art. And this art can be either commission work or it can be personal. Um, Recently, I finished a personal piece. For those who were here earlier in the stream, you will have seen it, which is new for me. I haven't finished a personal piece in a while. I am, however, still painting the same fandom. I have not swapped fandom. 'Cause I have a a cruel prince folk of air problem, and I'm also okay with this. But yeah, so I've got that at the moment, which I was working on, and I wanted to do some like really cool anatomy work with it, so I achieved that. I'm pretty happy with how that came out. Like I think it looks cool. Um, oh, this is just does not make sense. But yeah, so I do miss personal work. However, I will say that um, I am way more productive art-wise with commission work than I am with personal work. Because like commission work forces me to, you know, basically get up and paint something. Whereas personal work, I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, but like I don't really want to paint because I've got, this cool video game that just came out or something to that effect. And then I just sit and I procrastinate and it goes on from there. Which isn't good. And I dislike it a lot, and it upsets me because I feel lazy and pooey about my life and my existence and things like that. So commission work is great because it kind of forces me to, sit my butt down, do some actual art. Because the whole thing is like it's just the discipline to start. Because once I start painting, like this evening, I was feeling really unmotivated, especially going into the office. I always feel unmotivated when I come home. Just because I have a really long trip when I drive to the office. Like it's quite a long trip. It's not the nicest. And also, just with lockdown, I don't know if other people have found this in their countries, but people drive a lot worse now. And so I end up having a really upsetting driving experience on my way into the office. And I don't want that, Like, I just want to be happy. I just want to sit and I want to draw every day. um, no, I lie about that. Like, I don't know if I'd want to draw all day, every day, just because personally I think I would burn out. Not personally, like I know I would. It's not even an I think. Um, but that's why you sprinkle your art endeavors with some merchandise. Maybe I just want to become a merchandiser. I just want to make enamel pins for all of you, 'cause I care. And I like enamel pins. Um, but yeah. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, anyway, so it's like really difficult to motivate after going into the office. But once you get into the flow of things, it's like a completely different story. Because now it's like, oh well, because I enjoy painting. Like that's the crux of it, really. Is that painting is a pleasant experience, and painting something beautiful is like this, it's so rewarding. And so, when I finally get my little procrastination station going, then I'm fine. Then I'm a little happy. Happy Sasha. Sasha's painting. Sasha's making something look cool. Although, like, never underestimate the, like, how demotivating painting something and then having it just not look good after sitting and painting for 2 hours can be. I had that happen last night where I was like, I just don't think what I've painted is all that good. Especially when you've got a client, because not only are you painting something that you think isn't great, right? You now have to send that to the client and be like, here is your progress update. I'm not happy with it, but please just trust me. And I'm very lucky with the clients that I get. Like, I'm, ridiculously lucky in the regard that a lot of them do trust me as an artist, which is awesome, and a lot of them are really, really kind and awesome, understanding people who, have like a really great understanding of what goes into an art piece. But I still, like, I take a lot of pride in the work that I make and stuff, and if I'm sitting here feeling like I haven't made something that is like up to scratch, that upsets me deeply and makes me sad. And so yeah, so that's kind of like, that is very demotivating when you're sort of just sitting there and you're like, but I don't like how it has turned out. And you're like, well, you gotta send it anyway because you're meant to send an update today. And it's like, but it doesn't look good. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter. You've just gotta suck it up and send it off. Fun times. But I know you all did not come here to listen to me moan. As great as my moaning is, as thrilling as it is to listen to Sasha complain about art, I know you're all here for the art. So, on that note, for those watching either in real time or far away on another planet in the future, this character is she is the protagonist for a book by an author called Marie Gin, Gin, and she is well, actually, this would be a spoiler. She is a mythical creature that I will not disclose, and she has the power to control fire, which is really cool. I like elemental magic. It's like one of my favorites. But yeah, and so she is the main character. She is a child of prophecy. And I think she's really cool. Her name is Elena. She is Elena. She kind of reminds me a little bit of Elena Gilbert from the Vampire Diaries, but like not in like they're like the same character because they have the same name. No, that's not what I meant. In the sense that she's like, got a cool destiny around her, and she's like in a world of supernatural creatures. What is really cool about this book, and what I really, really like about it, and if you guys really like historical fiction, then this one is for you. But it's set in the 1820s. So, sorry, I had to think about that for a second. Because I was like, I know it's set in the 20s, but I was like, but it's not in the Roaring 20s, which was, with the Prohibition and stuff. This was it's set in the time of pirates, like the Pirates of the Caribbean. Um, I really hope Mary doesn't hear me say that, and I don't offend her. Um, but yeah, which is really cool. Like Pirates of the Caribbean is one of my favorite like movies of all time, but also setting is really cool. Um, because it's just like such an awesome like point in history. Anyway, so this has nothing to do with pirates. But what I'm trying to say is it has that similar aesthetic to the Pirates of the Caribbean, which is really cool. I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit because my throat is sore. Bum, 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 bum. One thing I am quite excited to draw, but also kind of terrified about this piece, is that the she has fire in her hands, and fire is really difficult. Um, it is one of the most difficult materials, and it counts as material, like one of the most difficult like kinds of element. Actually, scratch that. All the elements are really hard to draw, bar like earth. But for for intents and purposes, we have fire, which is an interesting one to paint. Because it's has so many different colors and it has like variations to it and things like that, which can either you can either do it really well or you end up having like a cartoon kind of fire, which is not what we're about here on this stream. Thank you, everyone. We're just adding some sparkle details because I'm impatient. I'm trying to think if I want to add a really bright rim light, or if we're going for a, that'd be a nice one, dodge, linear dodge add, or if we just do like a, it helps when you have the right color. And it looks cool. We'll leave it for now. I don't know. I think I'm gonna move on to the background because I'm dreading rendering the dress. I say dreading, it's very dramatic. So stars, let me label that. Stars. And this actually. Rim light. Get a reference. see. That's very yellow. I always like listening to the soundtrack. It's very peaceful. One thing I do want to go in is with a multiply. And just do like this. That's the eraser. Sulfide. Give the background a bit more depth. Cool. I think, yeah, I'm going to end the stream there. That's what we did this evening. Actually, we can do like a before and after. So this is before, where she looks really angry. After. We gave her a more youthful face. Gave some dimension to everything. Painted it. Changed the lighting a bit. So I think it's gonna be a cool illustration. When I will finish this, it'll have to be on the weekend. Maybe. I have to make tutorials on the weekend, so that'll be an interesting one. But it will. Busy. I do want to stream more regularly. I think it'll be a good opportunity for me to motivate myself to draw, you know, give everyone an opportunity to interact with me, and then also it just fills in some of the filming time that I have to do. Every single one of the illustrations for this client is going to be turned into a tutorial, which is awesome for me. But a lot of work. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm super happy with how it's turning out. I think it's gonna be super cool. Yeah, like there's a few things I want to do. Like I definitely think the like background, like just overall could use a darkening. And like there, like you can already see that that made a big difference for those who can see it in the background. So it's like light and then dark, which is pretty cool because it just adds like a little bit more. Actually, I might even just pull this all the way to the top. So that's one thing I do which is quite bad is like ooh, that's weird. But I'll start adding like adjustments to the illustration that I can then turn on and off, which is pretty cool. But also it's like jumping the gun. But I really like it though because you can sort of get a little bit of a feel for what the illustration will sort of look like as you get to the end, which is really nice. Put that there. Yeah, like I don't know if brightness or contrast is the best one. Like we could also just even go so far as to just put a nice multiply over everything. And then you just, let me take the brightness off. But yeah, and now it's like a dark room, you know? It's pretty cool. Another fun one to do, and I'll just talk you through it, but it's like a color lookup, which allows you to sort of change the way the colors interact with one another. But I won't do that because you can't see what I'm doing, and I need this footage for later on, for when I make it into a tutorial, which will be really great. I haven't painted like a full-on portrait illustration in a very long time, so this has been really fun. And I'm looking forward to finishing her. What I do really like about her as a character is that she actually reminds me of another artist who's painted, like, it's just a similar-esque character, you know, someone with dark hair, red eyes, pale skin. And I always really liked that character, so I now have a nice reference piece, which always brings me joy because I like being able to reference an artist as opposed to real life, because it's sometimes like the things that I paint are really difficult to reference. But anyway, turn that off. It has been wonderful to paint with everyone who has joined, and those who are still here, 2 viewers. But yeah, and I will see everyone in the next stream, which will probably be next week, which will be cool. Um, yeah. Thank you everyone for joining, and I will see you very soon.